Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. Hopefully the live stream is working and you guys can basically hear and watch me. If that is so, please write yes AV so I get confirmation that audio and video is working. I'm just still waiting for incognito window to play. Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Okay, as of now, I think the incognito window has given me the data. So I assume, hopefully, that audio and video is working and you guys can, watch me and listen to me without any issue. So let's get started. Technical. Please make a video on Indian tax system killing businesses and, our economy, and how we can solve it, how much tax we paid in the government by GST and other types of indirect taxes in future Friday. See, the reason why I do not want to talk about taxes is basically people's emotions are attached to it. For example, certain things are what we call counterintuitive. For example, you will think if you reduce tax, that will reduce the earning of the government. No, it won't. It increases the earning. It has happened in more than enough time. So basically think in this way, if you start to tax 50%, people will simply make less money. It's like, because again, you are hurting them more. That same thing will happen. If you tax 70%, people will simply not make that much money. You need proof for that. There are many European countries that has almost everything free, like free education, free healthcare, all that. But nobody actually goes there. And there is like numbers of billionaires are very few. But here's the deal. Then why is that? Well, here's the deal. Taxes are super high. Like one of the countries had like such a weird tax system. A music star, which in America would be rich AF, they barely had like, I have 2 TVs. That's how rich they are. It's like, what the hell? So you have to understand, you can increase tax, but it reduces prosperity. So then what is the other problem? So again, that itself is very hard to understand. Another aspect is government are not accountable to anything. That's the most dangerous part about democracy. We have not figured out a way how to hold government accountable. For example, let's say a bureaucrat makes a mistake, right? What's the penalty? They do not get fired from the job. They do not get, like even their pensions are completely intact. So what is the penalty? Like, without that, how can you ensure that people will do the good job? Now, as of now, I'm very interested into the fact that Elon Musk is like that Doge idea. While idea is very awesome, because here's the fundamentally, back in the old days, constitutions were written like countries and ways of governing in the kingdom era. They were always reset after few years, because again, a few years, maybe few generations, is that a war happened and everything started from fresh. But in our current system, like India has been stable from 75 years, so our constitution is bloated, and USA is hyper bloated from like 275 years. So there is a scenario where you have so much gunk, because again, there is no reset, there is no natural, oh, you added this law, let's remove it, it no longer makes sense. There is no such, what you call, a procedure. And that's what Elon Musk are focusing is like, if government is becoming bureaucratic mess just for bureaucracy, we have to fix that. And that is a very tough pill. Because again, you are flat out removing government jobs. It's like, oh, government employees are not working, okay, fire them. And if they do not do, okay, privatize them. So that is a very, scorched earth policy. So it's a very interesting thing to see what is going to happen. Don't you think human lifespan is too small, and we get older, our progress will put limits on significant how much time you think? See, human lifespan is huge. You are talking about something that many of us can actually touch 1 century. 1 century is not small amount of time, my man. Now, right now, the biggest problem with our medical science is, like, again, that's how I see it, is that we can have the lifespan, but we do not have the quality. For example, there is no cure for anything, like nothing. Like, for example, you get a slip disc. All they can do is reduce the basically lock the damage. For example, let's say my slip disc is 100% health, some injury happened, and then it's like 50% health. They cannot make that 50% to 100%. Like, that's why if you get sugar, you get diabetes, that's it. They can limit the damage. It's like, okay, this will not poof you. Okay, cool, awesome. How about repairing it? There is no repairing. So that's a very bigger issue as of now, that the fact that we have so much medicine, we have so much technology, we do not have any repairing technology. We do not repair things. Like if your heart gets injured due to heart attack, there is no repairing it. It's just like, okay, second heart attack would be far more, what you call, no, it's in small my view. Again, you can have whatever view you want, but that does not mean anything. 1 century, it's more than enough. We do not have health for 1 century, and you're like, I want to live 2 centuries. It's like, yeah, you will be a vegetable at the other end. So let us sort the first repairing part, and I can easily see, what you call, other things to happen before that. Fall safe in USA. Now, again, as to democracy, right now the biggest news is that South Korea came close, like very close to actually getting boomed. So what actually happened is that let's say people born today not live more than 120 years. See, you want time. I'm pretty sure you are a child. I'm pretty sure you are not even 30 years old. You want things does not make it logical thing to want. Anybody, I could, I want $1 billion. It's like, it does not make any sense. Like, you can want whatever you want. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, you can live very long, but does not mean anything. It's like, what are you accomplishing? Because here's the deal, if some scientists only live for 40 years, but they cured cancer, or like, created the cure for polio, or some scientists have like created insulin, they are far more meaningful in under 80 years compared to, I live to for like, 120 years or 200 years. That's not how things work. Like, you have to do what you can do. So Trump said that any country is trying to replace the dollar will face 100%. I think this might encourage even more countries to start replacing dollar. Yeah, see, no. That's a desire. Everybody has this desire for 200 years. Okay, the moment dollar got bound to what we call petrodollar, as in OPEC had to use it, yeah, we lost all our control. And again, to de-dollarize, you have to get energy independence. Now, there were some countries that have energy independence. For example, Russia, Iran, and Venezuela. None of them are very healthy. So that there lies the core problem. So that's why Brexit are not working that well. It's like, yeah, you have Russia, who literally crippled itself because of this stupid war. And then you have China and India, which again, they're going boom, boom, boom like this. So that's also not healthy. And then you have Brazil. Okay. You see the paradox? There is not enough love bonding. Like, there is far more love between basically France, Germany, and Poland compared to these three big nations. So it's saying that. It's like, again, people have been saying that for last 200 years. Oh, we do want more independence. Nah, my man. It's again, you have to replace petrol, and to do that, you have to do seaweed biofuel. Nobody has done that, so everybody will come back begging to dollars. It's one of those things. I've seen it, heard it, read about it. It's boring at this point in time. It's like, oh, we're gonna de-dollarize. It's like, bitch, please. Again, I could be proven wrong. I hope I'm proven wrong, but lived too long for this. It's like, yeah, like history books are like, bruh. So it's one of those things. Now, let's assume this South Korea thing. Now, in South Korea, there is a president who is very unpopular. And again, like, how did they win the election? Raisin thin margin, like very thin margin. It's not like millions of extra vote, like very thin margin. It's almost like, oops, kind of winning happened. So it's not a, let's just say there is no popular concept or things of that nature. So fundamentally, he was not that popular. Now, again, he did win the election, cool, awesome. But here's the deal, after that, midterm elections of the parliament and all that, his opposition party got like majority. And they started to investigate his wife and investigate other cabinet members and all that. And like a lot of probes were fired, and it started to slow down the government because, again, employees were like, you are appearing in court and all that. So he got very angry, and he's like, I want to do things, but again, I'm not able to do things because, again, democracy being subverted. Because I do get it, for children many times it's very easy to sell them like, oh, Putin is like, a big boss because he has no one on top of him. That's not a good thing. You never want that. Anyone wanting that is like, oh, I elect someone, he should be able to do whatever he said or wants. No, you always want checks and balances. And again, people are very emotional creatures. You can just titillate them in such a way to like self-destruct. And again, history is filled with that. How do you think communism happened? The bloodbath that caused by communism, how the heck that happened? People titillated the people. It's like, ulululululu. So you always want checks and balances so that ululululu does not happen. And again, that's a good thing. That's again, that does slow down progress. That does cause what you call stress and does cause frustration in public. But again, that's a good thing. It's almost like, oh, there are people who disagree. Because here's the deal, let's assume somebody won by 51%. Do you just want to poof 41%, 49%? That's not acceptable. So that's why we want this. Like, this is a desirable scenarios. And again, generally all this democratic system, the moment nation is under attack, it just evaporates and things gets done. And again, India also had a very good example during COVID and all that. So it's a very known tested thing. Like, you have an issue, we solve that goddamn issue. So we want that. But again, you can be very easy to sell. It's like, oh, see, there is no democracy. There is like so much control. Those are checks and balances. You want that. You do not want Don Raj, where it's like, I'm the Don. I do whatever I want. You don't want that. So, hold on. Oh, sorry. So fundamentally, having this sort of checks and balances is a good thing. Now he was very angry, he was very unpopular, and last 2 years, like people are realizing that, bruh, you can't do anything, and it's like you made a lot of things, but like nothing was done. So he decided to fire a nuke. Now his deal, this nuke was so bad that even his own party members, let's assume he's the blue party, his own party members were like, yeah, this is not good, man, this is not okay, because his deal, last time when this martial law was implemented, country went into poof, and that was only 40 years ago. And here's the part of 40 years. We may think, oh, 40 years so long ago. Yes, 40 years is so little that there could be 20-year-olds who saw this, whose friend were poofed. They are alive and they are still in power today. So they are still alive. They know. They will tell their children, go fight right now. Otherwise, you will not have a country tomorrow. And again, oh my God, I am like, this is one thing that did made me happy. The army not going pew 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 on their own public. I am very happy with that. This is like, my hats off to you. Like, this is a good thing that, even though on principle they could have done that, and it would have taken only one accidental firing, not even like intentionally going ditchku, like one person, like, because again, there was one woman who was like pulling on a rifle. Let's say it's just accidentally discharged. It would have spiraled out of hand very quickly, but that did not happen. And all the opposition party, all the parliament members, they ran through, man. And again, one of the head of the parliament was live streaming, because again, he wanted to make sure that if he is executed, people know that he's like a dictator flat out. So that was a very good thing. And again, to this day, I do not understand why we have so many ways of destroying democracy in the democracy. It's like, what if this executive branch decides to F the country? It's like, why do you have that? Like, I get it, under war. But what is this emergency? Because again, emergency is a free-floating term. You can apply it to anything. It's like, that should not be a thing. And even if this emergency, there must be, let's say there are 3 legislative branches, at least 2 should agree. It's like, what the hell? This person can single-handedly decide to F the country. It's like, who wrote that? Why did you wrote that? It's like, no, but we want expedited things. Again, that is only needed in war, and again, that should not be used in war, because that simply means you failed. Like, your army failed. Your armies are trained to react. There cannot be like, one day we were sleeping, everything fine, and bam, China just boomed us. Like, that's not going to happen. That cannot happen. That should not happen if you have a defense force. That's the whole point. That's why you train them. That's why you put assets. So I genuinely do not get this idea. It's like, let's put some constitutional way. So once you poof the, democracy, you can do it itself. It's like, every freedom fighter, we are pissing on them. It's like, oh, you work your life off like to give us freedom. How about we write that you can remove the freedom? It's like, what the hell? So that bothers me. But again, I'm very glad that this is the outcome, that soldiers did not went pew 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 on their own public. Public came together very quickly, middle of the night in freaking winter. Respect to them. Like, they knew that that first few hours were very critical. If they would not have gotten into the parliament, if they would not have, passed the vote, it could have gotten out of hand very quickly overnight. So this was a very genuinely heartwarming thing to see, that a country happened and realized the price of it. Like, they could not just like, who cares? No, people knew the price. And again, that's why I said like 40 years ago is not that far back. So this was a very wow kind of thing. Fail-safe in US democracy. Yeah, US democracy has a lot of fail-safe. Like, one of my personal favorite is that you cannot be more than 2 sessions. Google why the heck there is that. But again, they learned it the hard way, and they put it in the constitution that you cannot be more than 2 times. Let's say a person born today is more than 120 years. Okay, Trump says the country is trying to. I'm 17. Yeah, I did get that. America attitude is a bit different, I think. And let's see, like, I think let's see, like, see, America, I have seen America grow, because America was not powerful before World War II. If you had America before World War II, and let's say he actually managed to control Europe, America would have been just rolled over. But again, the World War II was the crucible where they were forged. And that's why, like, Pearl Harbor, they got so easily destroyed by Japan. And ironically, Pearl Harbor was a failed attack from Japanese point of view, because they failed to blow up the fuel depot. That's the first thing you blow up. The first thing you blow up is fuel depot, and that survived. So I think It's almost like one of those scenarios where you have like, somebody above you protecting you. Is one of those kind of scenario. According to you, what roadmap India should adopt to start manufacturing of semiconductor chipset in India? First thing, do not focus on graphics card or computer or anything like that. First focus should be power electronics, basically semiconductors like IGBTs, MOSFETs, these sort of thing, like the core electronic. And then the microcontroller needed to run this, because here's the deal, India is making solar panel. Good, awesome, GG. What about inverter? We are buying it from somewhere else. And again, country cannot survive without those things. So those should be absolute priority, not computer. Again, we need that, but again, that's very far out. So right now, our core focus should be power electronics. Basically, the country should be able to power itself, basically make cars, microcontrollers, and basically capacitors, resistors, PCBs. Again, there are more than enough of PCBs. I think a resistor should not be that difficult to make in India, but capacitor is. Capacitor is like a almost black magic kind of technology. It's very difficult, very complex, but again, that should be there. Then you slowly upgrade. You do not go. And again, I have seen some wisdom in Indian government when applying tariff and all that. It's like they are saying, hey, at least assemble. And again, that's a good strategy, because once you have forced people to assemble, then if you have good enough environment, rich enough environment, they might have just like, yeah, let's just build this also here, it's cheaper. Let's just build this also. Again, China did not become China overnight. It was a very long process. Again, according to a lot of people, it started with Motorola going them and teaching them. But again, it was a slow process. So having people coming here and assembling things, that starts to create, it's almost like a seeding. You are seeding an industry here. So it's a long-term game. Long term. But again, if I'm in advertising, I'm saying, if I'm advising the government, I will be like, first get your ass into the electronics, not like semiconductor, electronics. Make sure that India can make basically stabilizers, inverter. Inverter is the first thing, because again, everything runs on inverter. Your water pump, VFD inverter. Your railway locomotive, VFD inverter. Your basically solar plants, VFD electrical. Power plant, again, it does need a lot of control electronics for that rotor control. DCXI, again, electronics. So get that sorted first. Get that sorted. And again, once you have that sorted, other things starts to fall in. And again, we have the luxurious environments. Like, let's say we really want to design something, like, not just like make things, design things. We are in a lucky time, because RISC-V architecture is now rich enough, as in like the topology, that you can design control electronics with it. That is a good thing. Like, there is a ESP32 version that has RISC-V. So there's a lot of good things we can do if we, but again, semiconductor, don't touch that. Not right now. We are not ready yet. Again, power control electronics, yes. Now why? Because yes, the power electronics today also are not made out of 4 nanometer. They are still made out of like older nodes. Why? Is cheaper. So again, getting into that, getting into the ecosystem is like, hey, we have fabrication, we have packaging, we have PCB, we have everything in the pipeline. That would be the seeding. And again, there's more than enough demand of it. So that would be my approach. Basically, get power electronics sorted first. Sir, how to overcome the stress of breakup? Start to do something productive. Go to the gym. That would be a very basic thing. Take on long walks. Start reading books. These sort of simple things will get you going. So after population collapse, you cannot come back to grow even from 1,000 years. See, a population collapse is not a complete humanity going poof. It's more like people who do not value family units, basically 150 countries, they will be poofed. And they will be replaced by, right now, the current running champion of people who are actually managing to have population of 3.1 rather than less than 2.1 is Islam. So that will become the next replacement. So it's more of a replacement. It's not like humanity is going poof. It's basically dumb people are going poof. And it's nature's missile. Nature's like, oh, you think career is more important than babies? Missile. Boom, baby. So it's like that. Fundamentally, basically every culture that fired missiles at the family unit, nature fired its missile, and nature's missile is called extinction. So that's what happened. I read articles starting on Putin has seized land worth more than 5 trillion through his war. Yeah, land has no value. Like, fundamentally, land has no value. And again, those lands are, even if they were fertile, I'm pretty sure those lands are now contaminated with mines and war materials. You do not want to go plowing in them. You have to clean that. And by the time you have spent all the money for cleaning, you will learn the hard way why the heck there are so many minefields of previous war that has never been cleaned on the planet. So yeah, no. Why no video next week? No, there are video next week. So I do not know where you're getting that. Video after that would not be there because again, I will be going to Kanpur to get a health checkup completely. Basically, what the hell is going on with my hamstring, and why the heck I have a cough that has not gone away for weeks. So that's there. Radhe 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 to you. Hi, here sir, late. Okay, no problem. Would you like to trade your RTX 1070 for my GT 710? Oof. You're going old school, man. I have, a GTX 1070 also. So you are basically giving me older than my 10-year-old computer. What do you think on Nikola Tesla and Edison? See, they both were clever. They were very clever, very good. And Edison was like Thomas Edison, I think you were trying to write. Thomas Edison was very clever as a businessman. And Nikola Tesla was very clever as an engineer, as a like actually person who is innovating. So both were very clever, both were very powerful. But I would say there was a bit of an ego issue with Edison and a bit of a money issue with Tesla. So almost ironically balanced variant of each other. So there is that. Recently I noticed some influencers started talking about low fertility, how Muslim taking over the Hindus and especially West. Bengali influencers talking about this type of topic is shocking. No, see, if people are talking about it, that means it's already too late. It's almost like, you build a dam on a river and river dies. But again, it takes 30 years. So if you're starting to scream after 30 years, as in like 31st year, yeah, there is no point. It's already gone. Like it's like Japan is screaming now, please make babies. It's like, yeah, you killed the country. You cannot redo it. Like there is no control that. Again, you fired a missile at family unit and nature fired extinction missile at you. Nature's missile is more powerful. And again, can we redo, fix it? Maybe. In principle, all you have to do is remove basically alimony. Basically, we have to go back to the old understanding of reality where life is suffering. Only thing you have to understand is like, is the suffering worth or not? A husband has to suffer for his wife. A wife has to suffer for his husband. There is no scenario where it's like, oh, only husband bears all the burden and wife is like, everything is nice, everything cozy. I can divorce him and I get all the property because it's awesome. No. And you're like, okay, but that will hurt a lot of people. Yeah, welcome to life. Welcome to life. And here's the deal. You have two options. One option, we go back to the old system that has survived thousands of years, that has gone through war, famine, drought, every natural disaster imaginable, gone through all of that, survived all of that, war, world war, survived all of that, and modern bullshit. That literally, once you do it, you die in 90 years. So choice is yours. You can choose the modern bullshit and die and get replaced, or you go back to old system. But you won't go back to old system because it's oppression. It's like, no, you are literally running away from your own suffering that's supposed to be there. It's like, again, we do not want it, but it's life. It's like suffering is always there. You have to choose. Like, again, in Christianity, that's the whole point of like, bearing your own cross. Even in Hinduism, like, you do not run from your life. You have to bear it. Like, suffering is there. Even Sudama had to bear his suffering. Only then he get to witness God. Like, that's the whole point of it. Life is suffering. You just have to endure it. Basically, you have to have a reason for that suffering. If you try to run away, and if that was like, the ethos, oh, girl, lady boss, you're not supposed to suffer. It's like, yeah, you are setting up for absolute extinction level event. Absolute. Not like, oops. Absolute. It's like, boom. So that's there. Again, for example, let's say South Korean people. Imagine all these people who are not willing to suffer. Oh, it's cold out. Why would I go outside in the cold? It's like, no, they did suffer. They knew like what was at stake. They chose that suffering benefit. Life rewarded them with democracy. Every time we run away from suffering, we suffer worst consequences. So that's why like you always have to have something to fight for. And if this idea was like, I will not suffer, is like freedom and all that. Again, men got stuck in the same thing. Men got holding with the bag. Again, they cracked, which again, that will happen. It's like, I'm designed to handle 100 watts of stress. And you're like, what if you put 200 watts of stress? It's like, why? It's like 100, I'm barely holding on, you're putting 200. Yeah, you go poof. Now it's like, oh, men don't want to do that. Of course they don't want to. Like, you're pissing on our face and you're like, oh, men don't want to raise it. It's like, we know there is no reality. Like, again, Japan, South Korea, like in Japan, it's so hilarious. It's like, why the men are not men? It's like they watched their grandfather getting analed in family court. They watched it. And again, you have been yelling like, oh, you do not do anything. Again, they are the reason why you have a country left. But like, they don't do anything. And it's like, it's a bad person and blah, 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 blah. And it's a poison and it is shame on the family. It's like, that's what happened to their grandfathers. And then they saw their father, same thing, same stupid thing. They got married and had kids. And then like the kids are watching grandfather getting destroyed and raped in the family courts. Father getting the same thing. And they're like, yeah, no. No, me good, me good. I do not want to work my ass off so I can die, so a woman can just take all the money away from me and I can suffer. Yeah, no, I'm gonna suffer on my own. So that's the whole point. If you fire missile at family unit and you're like, no, everything woman wants it should be there. It's like the moment somebody decided, it's like after breaking a marriage, you get paid, the end. The end. That's just suicide with extra steps. So we did that. And again, you do not have to believe me or anything. There are 200 countries. 150 countries have alimony's law. All of them have below replacement population, meaning all of them are already on extinction. It's not if or else. It's we did this, we know the outcome. You build a dam, you dry out the river. It's not if or else, it's when. Okay, Rajput said building 200 megawatt solar plant. Nice, nice. But 200 megawatt is not huge for India. India has gigawatt class, man. 200, it's like, again, that's a good thing. That's a good thing that I am saying, 200 megawatts. Like, yeah, that's a good thing. Again, the Shashank Vishnoi, the professor that I have did live stream with on a Hindi channel, he was sharing me some video when he was like visiting a solar farm. It was like gigawatt class. So it's like, damn. So that's a good thing. So I think when it became superpower, not superpower, only power. Only a live power. Nowadays, there's any way to do video call in HD quality. Zoom does that, HD video quality, and you have to pay for Google Premium. I do not know what it's called, but it has that. Like right now, if you do Google Meet, it's 720p. But if you're on full HD, you have to pay for it. That's there. So I've recently had a breakup. I'm doing a trip instead of going to a counselor. Again, see, as long as you do things, your life will recover. Okay, do things. That's the first thing. Do freaking things. Go, travel, read, do things. Go to gym, do things. Again, I will not say go to counselor unless if all of those things failed or you are getting stuck in going into those things. I will not suggest counseling for those things for basically men, so to say. Anti-gravity vehicle for the maglev is already there, na? It's an old thing. Why scientific progress has done, no major scientific developments are happening? Again, I do not know. Again, for this, there is this German woman who has like a very amazing YouTube channel. She is talking about that. Like you should watch her channel. Specifically talks about that. Is anti-gravity okay? I think your car will give shocks. Anyways, I think your car will give shocks always. Bro, element cannot fix inflation. Without inflation control, you can't make people produce babies. No, I'm saying alimony broke family unit. Inflation is a different stupidity. And again, there is a penalty of that. Once you break the family, now you have two people working. And once you have two people working, you doubled the workforce. Now people are like, I can half the salary. It's like literally, again, here's the deal. You have 10,000 years of data in every culture. Okay, you are like, okay, I want to listen to Hindu culture, 10,000 years of data. I want to live to Islamic culture, 10,000 years of data. Not 10,000 again, we do know where is the timeline goes back to 2,000 to 3,000 years. But again, they did exist. And again, you can keep going back to Egypt. It's always there. It's the only time when humanity ever reached, population decline is this. And again, let that be very clear. There are other things that enhanced it. There is no discussion about it. Like the delusion that we had overpopulation is not a real thing. Like India had 33 crore people at some point in very early years of freedom. We were starving. We have 1.5 billion, almost 1.5 billion now. We are not. Population is the biggest resource you have if you use it correctly. And yes, this will be difficult. Yes, it will be painful. But again, we come back to the same point. Life is suffering. Is it worth or not? And like, what if we reduce people? It's like, how about you poof yourself? You start with that because again, everybody is like, oh, everybody else is useless. No, you are useless because anyone else is like, okay, we have this problem. Let's solve it. We have this 1.5 kilogram of this. Why? To solve problems. It's a problem solving engine. Solve the goddamn problem. Are you talking about specifically culture in marriage? Yeah, that's the whole point. Yes. Things in India is affordable, healthcare cheaper than other good Wi-Fi. Yeah, internet is good. Healthcare, it could have been better, but again, it did not went out of danger. But I think it will be. The more and more people go into insurance, the more price will go out. Because again, once everybody starts to rely on insurance, more insurance payout has to be done, and insurance can only work if only few people use it. But again, if everybody is having health insurance, the payout becomes very high. As long as people are paying from cash, we are safe. again, price hike wise, we are safe for short duration. But if everybody start to use, healthcare, yeah, we will be exactly like destroyed like USA is. So that is a very serious issue. But again, that's a long-term problem. I think, and good internet, yeah, that's an amazing thing. That part, I'm very proud of India, that India really invested very early on fiber, and then we had somebody's like, what if I built my own fiber? Yeah, Jio did their own fiber. We got 4G, and now I have fiber to the home. Like, I'm shocked. Like, just few years ago, like if you have watched like USS, people are like, you know what, I barely get 20 Mbps. I'm like, damn. Again, I'm poor, that's why I can't get 1 Gbps, but I can get 1 Gbps for like last 3-4 years. It's a weird thing, so that's there. No, it's Kaliyuga, no, it's not that. It's law. 1984, we wrote the law. We literally have a timeline where it's like, okay, what if we poofed the country? We did that. Now we are poofed. As simple as that. 100 crore will get 97 crore if you have. We should know, but I do not know who you are talking about. Like virus, I don't know. Have you watched whether about democracy is mathematically impossible? Yeah. Again, that's why I keep saying that first past the poll is not a good system. We have to have something better than this. We have to have a single transferable vote. Now, is that perfect? No. But is that better than what we have? Absolutely. And again, it does not apply if you still have 2 parties. It applies only when you have 4 parties or at least 3 parties. Only then you have option where it's like, free food for poor, no food for poor, food for poor children for like, this age to this age. Then you have a, balanced options. So it has to be there. What should I purchase, 4K monitor or 4K TV? Again, depending on what you need to do. Like if you need to do computer work, then go for monitor. If you need to do entertainment, go for monitor, basically TV. Sure. Tell some fail-safe system in American democracy. What if Trump out of control? What if Trump he can't? So, Supreme Court is still there, man. Supreme Court is the ultimate authority. It was like, bitch, please. Yeah, like bitch, please. And again, he has not done anything illegal because he can't. Again, he is flat out saying it's like he's supposed to select people. He did not do a very good job in first term. Second term, he's doing good job. And again, if people like what he's doing, then he will be rewarded, at least like his team, his coalition will be rewarded by another, year, so to say, another session. So that's there. Looking good guy, person Jean Greeny. Her name is Sabina, yeah. She's very. No, I would not consider that. I have seen her mathematics and it checks out. Again, that's my opinion, but you are free to disagree. In my office, all the married people are relentlessly behind 28-year-old guy, insisting that he should get married soon. How one can avoid such people? No, you see, there is nothing to avoid. You're just like, yeah, once I'll find it. You do not, see, you're not supposed to fight. It's like, hey, once I'll find it, I'll do it. Like, you don't fight. You don't waste your energy. It's very simple. It's like, yeah, once I find it, I'll do it. And again, if you're like, if they start to go too much, then you're like, okay, raise a daughter, man. Come on. And again, the moment you bring their daughter, they will shut up. So that's the whole point. Better look at green. Okay, so obsession is the best for long and big goal. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think would be the reason if Earth were destroyed? Again, there could be 10,000 reasons. What family unit is in Israel is still intact and also have alimony law? Yeah, Israel is a very weird case. Very weird case. But I think given the fact that they have actual threat as in they are not in peace, they are in active war since their creation. So I think that is helping them. And you're like, okay, well, how war is helping? Yeah, we humans are weird creatures. That's why I was saying we need suffering. And if you have actual war, if everybody's like actually pushed, surprisingly, it keeps other things intact. Basically, otherwise you will start, oh, I'm depressed and this and all that. And again, that's why I think like that's the missing ingredient for them to work. Basically, the high stress environment that they are all in. You earn good but don't have enough time and energy to spend it. Yeah. Yes, that's also an ironic part. Government jobs are safe in AI era. It's a push even more towards government job. No, it's not safe. Because SDL, you have to understand, government job does not make money. They have to tax it. And if everybody starts to go into government collapses. It's not a sustainable situation, because here's the deal. All the competent and capable people, they will leave your country. It's like, oh, everybody's doing government job, bye. Because here's the deal. What they will do? Increase tax. They're like, okay, bye. Starve to death. Look, convert yourself to Venezuela. What the heck was the country name? Venezuela. Sorry, Venezuela. Yeah. Now I'm attending. स्वागत तो करो हमारा. Shout out the Liveline professor. Okay. No, her criticism on string theory is really misapproach. See, I'm too old for string theory now. Like string theory, I've been seeing so long that it's now, yeah, it has reached the bullshit point. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, do something with it. Like, do something with it. I'm old. Like, I've been watching this guy, Michio Kaku, string theory and all that for so long ago that it's like, you forgot 1.5 billion here. No, 1.5 is not Hindu. Very large portion of them are that. And again, only 3 states in India have 2.1, above 2.1. Almost all other states are below replacement level. That was long ago, man. That was in year 2020. 2025 Sensex would be like, you didn't invited me. Invite you in what? I don't know. Okay. How should we focus for a long period on time for X? Do you want to stay focused on your ex? That's sad, man. That's sad. That is sad. See, if somebody leaves you, say, thank you for the experience. Bye. And again, that's a very difficult thing to say. I have a court case to prove it. But, you have to understand, like, you have to let it go. Otherwise, like, again, you will be like me, very poor and very miserable. So choice is yours. Learn to let go or become miserable and poor. Choice is yours. No, 1.5 billion population can't get government job. Yeah, that's also a valid point. The live stream स्वागत तो करो हमें. See, Professor, if you want like if you have something interesting, useful to contribute to the chat, that would be awesome. But if you're just like, oh, I need attention, I'm sorry, this is not the live stream for you. For example, study not X. Oh, see, it will take time. It will take time. It will take time. It will take time. But again, the best solution is do things. As long as you are doing things, like go out with friends, go on tours, go on trips. Like again, trip do not mean like extravagant or like on flight and all that. Just trip, like just freaking pick up on a bus and just travel, or train and just travel. Go YOLO. And again, that's the one good thing about winter. Traveling in non-AC trains are acceptable, so you can do that. So that's there. Which was also misleading. I said look for a green. You are talking about Hank Green? Yeah, no. Again, you are free to disagree with me. I looked into her data point, I have looked into other data points, and again, given all the decades, yes, and I do have that luxury to say decades, yeah, string theory is just one of those things that is not going anywhere. It's just like, yeah, string theory. It's like, no, it's just going round and round and round. Which you can also misled and all that. Diabetes is reversible, slip disc is curable, and all marriages that happen doesn't involve divorce. People have and grow after marriages. Yeah, that's mathematical BS. First, diabetes, again, depend, if you are very early on catching on, again, cancer becomes a minor inconvenience. But most people, when they, again, I cannot base on something, one person fixed it. And slip disc wise, again, depending what kind of injury happened to the slip disc. And most of the scenario is treated as non-curable. So like, no, I do this. Like, yeah, everybody says that, oh, I have cured this, I have cured that. Yeah, no, it's not a thing. Okay, it's like 1 or 2 edge cases will always exist. It's classified as edge cases for that reason. If everybody was treating diabetes, we will not talk about diabetes. It's like, yeah, it's a thing. Oh, I just got diabetes, man. Just wait a few days, it will be sorted. Only few people can manage. Again, that could be their DNA, it could be their luck, it could be the early detection. There are hundreds of things, but it's not normal. It's not average experience. And again, that's why I said, do not listen to me. I never said do not listen to me or like do what I'm saying. I'm saying go to the places to see the truth. That's why I'm saying like, oh, old people are like still married. Yeah, because they married in different time era. Go to the family court. You will see only young couples, only. So what will happen to you is more likely to happen like this rather than what you are idolizing of 1970. So go to family court near you, not near me, near you, in 150 country. Pick your country, pick your state, pick your district. Again, I'm not saying it. Go and see the truth for yourself. And if you're like, no, I will not, so again, your choice. I think population collapse is a part of natural selection. Is more men, it will increase again. No, nature does not work that way. Once you have intelligence, you override nature. It's basically in terms of humanity. Humanity had too much freedom, and it fired missile at the wrong thing. And again, I do think humanity will go ahead and it will try again, and hopefully we'll fire missiles at the right thing. We fired at the wrong thing, we are suffering the consequences. Time will tell. But again, it's not nature doing control. Nature is not doing it. Once you have intelligence, you override nature. But again, you do not override stupidity. We did stupid things, we suffer the price. Grand Brain don't have his own YouTube channel. Okay, that's a different thing. Again, you are free to disagree with me. There is no reason of fighting us. Like, I will say the same thing again and again. सर मुझे चैन मतलब समझ में नहीं आया पीछे सब स्ट्रीम में मुझे China, the fact that I was talking about tariffs in China, basically you have to understand, if China successfully displaces all your local industry, they control your prices. And Le Lega simply means they can increase the price and you cannot do anything because you no longer have second supply. Basically, you do not have second source. Right now, world is very lucky that there are three sources: Europe, India, and China. If India and China did not apply tariffs very quickly to slow down that dumping and poofed our own industry, penalty would have been severe. Job loss alone would be severe, economic loss would be brutal, and dependency would be extra, salt on the wound. So that's what I meant by that. Just meaning I told who I'm chill here. Other religions, India, Buddhism, Judaism, Sikhism also dying, and they are dying as much faster than Hindu. Yeah, that's the whole point. Lust, law, fake, dangerous, yours, things. Freaking dangerous your things. Dude, gravitational wave longer than string theory is like. See, I'm not talking about that. I'm bored. Low population equal less diverse, fresh air. See, Myanmar. Okay, Myanmar. Okay, see, you are the people who do not have brain. You are like, less people equals less problem. No, less people equals more misery. We had civilization for 1,000 plus years. Right? So let's say even if you're like, oh, I want written language, it goes at least 2,000 to 3,000 years ago, and we had very tiny population. Everybody was poor. You know that air is bad because you actually can read it about it. When we were relying on coal and wood stoves, people were dying for very early ages from other issues and injuries it was causing. We are living long enough now. We are like, hey, we need higher quality air. Again, even early industrial era, let's say 1800s. So much pollution was there, like today's pollution is nothing compared to that. Like imagine Delhi, multiply that by 10,000, that was London. So it's one of those things, it's like, oh, less people, no, less people has nothing to do with divorce rate, because again, if that statement were true, divorce rate would be worse in Japan, basically in China and India, nowhere else. It's same, it's literally same. Again, time delayed. Because again, when did we implemented the family unit destruction protocol from when it happened? Again, that rate is different, but it has no effect on the population. It's just like you have this, I know the solution is kill people. That's all you have in your brain. It's like, what if there were no people? It's like, yeah, then poof yourself. It's like people are the greatest thing and they are the worst thing. And it's up to us to use it. Other than that, there is nothing. Why big countries in end become lol? Again, every country does. This is the first time it's happening. Best solution is be invisible if public spaces, social distancing is. That's also a tool. Hum do hamare do. Again, that was surprisingly wise of Indian bureaucrats who came up with that. Because again, you are looking at the example of China. That's why I said, like, look into China's own policies. Like, no, everybody should have 3 kids. Nobody's having that. Let it rot movement became a thing. Like they had a very, very nice Chinese meme to say about this. It's like, basically sheeps, there is not, sheeps are not breeding enough that wolves are hungry now. It was a very, very, what we call poetic kind of thing. Again, I should try to find it. It was very, very deep meaning. It was like, you know what, why CCP is worried about our birth rate. It's like, yeah, if you stop having babies, who will they oppress? Again, power flows from bottom. Again, you tax people, you oppress people, you give power, and again, you select bad people from them and give them in charge, and they oppress people. But again, what if there is no people? What if you do not have enough people? Then what? Again, the structure collapses. And I'm like, damn, that's like the most FU revolution there is. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna go and you're gonna come with me. No, you will come with me. That's like a meta layer revenge. I really should find that. I really should find that. What about semiconductor industry? Only USA controls it. What India do? Again, India cannot just like, tada, semiconductor. That's not happens. The only way to start, again, I already talked about it. We must start with power electronics, and only then, brick by brick, day by day, then we will slowly reach to the point where it's like, no, we can make our own microcontroller. And again, today is the most luxurious time. Why? Because we have RISC-V finally getting very good finalization and all that. So good things are happening. But again, it's a long process. Same way like solar did not happen like this. And again, this will take even longer because we did not pay attention to this from 1990s. So it's on us, but again, it is doable. It's a fixable thing, but it's a long process. What do you think to decrease Baba culture in India? Yeah, that can't be done. See, once you remove gods, people create something else to fulfill that, so it becomes Baba or like celebrity. So there is always basically we always need somebody to look up to, whatever it may be. It takes a lot of growth, lot of what you call, well, sorry about that, a lot of wisdom, where it's like, yeah, like for me, the biggest change in my personal philosophy over the years was I started to employ filter on people also. For example, is like you could have the most stupid idea about something. I do not care. Like, do you have any good ideas? You have good ideas, I'll take that good idea, I'll reject the bad ideas. So if you're like, oh, earth is flat, but you know how to money works and all that, I'll listen to how the money works from you. I do not have that sort of a black and white reaction that people have. It's like, no, how can he say that? It's like, no problem, reject it. For example, Bill Nye, the science guy, he was the first scientist I saw fallen to this woke gender ideology, where it's like, there is no man and woman, and it's like, what the yuff. But again, that happened. Would I reject his science? Hell no. I'm like, dude, what else do you have? Oh, you have interesting thing to talk about engineering. You have interesting thing to talk about science and all that. Again, cool, awesome, I'll take that. What about this gender? No, sir, no, sir. I'm filtering that. Again, same happened with Neil deGrasse Tyson, which again, I really admired Neil deGrasse Tyson for a very long time. And then he started to go into that. It's like, eesh. And I'm like, no problem, okay. Neil deGrasse Tyson, science, I'll take the science, and gender ideology, nope, I will not take that. So that's how, again, that's how I'm trying to evolve myself, where I'm learning more, judging less. And again, that's the ideal scenario. I'm trying to approach that. What do you think? Baba, I want to go to MIT, USA for Master's Computer Science. Would it be really an investment or just a waste of money based on the current circumstances of global geopolitics? It won't be waste, because again, if you are in MIT and if you are in like actual STEM field, you will have a lot of contacts and connection that cannot be replicated anywhere else. So there is some significant advantage there, and you have a lot of venture capitalists also. So if you came up with an idea, the likelihood of you getting it like an actual company out of it is very high in USA compared to anywhere else. So there is a pros and cons, but again, it's a like what we call high risk, high reward scenario. I would like to become Kim Jong-un, but North Korea citizen. That's the whole point. Everybody wants to be the ruler, not the ruled. Everybody wants that. But again, we have to control that dark impulse of ourselves. That's why like learning to not judge other people is a very crucial thing. Again, I'm still struggling with it, but that's what makes your life easier. Whereas like, yeah, people have different thoughts. It's like, oh, flat earth theory, no problem. Oh, you believe like we had quantum physics in our religious text, no problem. I'll just filter that out. Like again, that's the ideal outcome of it. It's like, okay, people are there. My elder brother is getting married this January. I don't know why, but he seems to be most stressed person in the house. Don't worry, don't worry. He will start to learn fake laughing by the time, I would say 3-4 years in the marriage. You will see that, you will see that. Please make a video on lithography. Why it is too hard for Japanese people to see. Lithography is not hard or easy. You have to keep working at it. Basically, they stopped working at it. Once Nikon and Canon made optical lithography, they did not jump very quickly into ultraviolet, because they're like, hey, we made optical and it works. It was awesome. They were ruling the world at that point in time. But they did not jump from that to ultraviolet very quickly. And that time, TSMC is like, wha-bam! So that's what happened. Not judging other is a very crucial not judging other is a very crucial thing for me. Yeah, again, it's I should have started on this path very long ago. But again, it's one of those things. It's like you start investing. It's like, yeah, I should have invested when I was born. It's one of those things. Like you do what you can do. Like I'll give you a simple example. Let's say my investment is in Nifty 50, right? A very simple system. No, I do not have to use any intellect. And again, it's not SIP, but I do try to chip in regularly. So let's go to HDFC Nifty 50. Now, in this, let's say I started, I think 2 years ago, right? The oldest I think I have is, hold on, yeah, let's say August is the oldest. What was the price? The unit price was 185 at that time. Okay, cool, awesome, no problem. If I go to the oldest maximum that is available, that is I launched on 1st January 2013, it was 68. Meaning if I had started that time, I would be like, "Reh." But the same thing happens. It's one of those things. Like whatever you do, it's like when you are doing live stream on books, you read. Yeah, the fifth book, I think it's a very good read book. Once I'll finish it, I'll do a live stream on that. Not fifth, sixth book. Fifth book, I feel very odd with that. That's why I'm not talking about it. Fourth book I have already done. But again, I'm not gonna do live stream reading of those books. So that's there. War will happen. People stop incurable diseases, low fertility, man is missing courage in women, climate change, no rain, floods, nature will take care of itself, civilization disappears. Yeah, see, if you want to poof yourself, go ahead. It's like, see, I do not judge people, nor I wish war on anyone. The only people I truly despise are dictators, because again, they create unnecessary suffering. I do not like that. But again, everything else for me is just learning. But again, if somebody in 1984 decides, I'm going to write a law to F the country, and it's like, it's sad. But again, people willingly chose that, wrote that in a democracy. It's like, again, that creates a scenario where it's like, what was it done out of stupidity? Like, they did not knew the temporal consequences, meaning you do something now, what will be the consequences 50 years later? That could be there, or it could be a planned system. If it was a planned system, it's like, they planned it, that it will have this outcome, then I respect them. It's like, sir, you are a superior booming party. You just boomed me in time, in past. So I do respect that at that point in time. Hair does not matter became Jeff Bezos. Yeah, that's the whole point. See, there is nothing in this world in terms of judgment. Like if you want to be like unjudgeable, you have to have deep pockets. Like you could look a very ugly man and you have like, what we call hot escorts next to you. Nobody has balls to judge you. Everybody is like, damn, why is so rich? It's like you can watch people burn. Like again, that's the one thing that you have there. I can rely on scholarship and other parts, part-time job in the USA while studying. Yeah, don't risk that. Don't risk that. You will not make enough money. Don't risk that nowadays. Don't risk that. While studying, there will be need of 25 to 30 lakhs as a backup. Yeah, that's a valid point. You do have to spend a lot of money. I do have one family member married there, another in Canada, another in UK, another in Australia. Nobody else. Again, nobody else currently in contact, but that's really interesting. So, but again, I would say again, because if you are there to actually focus on STEM, again, if you are doing something else, okay. But if you are focusing on STEM, likelihood that you can do STEM very well and doing, would using low temperature thermal desalination to algae to biofuel production more profitable compared to seaweed? No, what are you smoking? How many times I have to tell you, where will you get the surface area, man? Jesus, it's boring, man. At this point, come on. Think it through, man. Think. Like, okay, let's assume you have infinite fresh water. Cool, awesome, no problem. Where you will get the infinite surface area, or at least 10,000 square kilometer of surface area. I cannot give you a patch 10,000 square kilometer on Earth anywhere on land without any issue. But on sea, it's like, who cares? Come on, man. Come on. That's why I say it needs two things, water and surface area. You have both free in sea, in land. Again, even if you have, let's say, low temperature thermal, it's still a big investment. Water is not free in that regard. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, Rahul Pal. Come on. You got to think, man. You got to think. You got to crunch through the data. What if all data got new? What will happen? Be responsible of that. Time will tell. For upcoming scientists, the latest Oppenheimer movie, Instant Tour, Oppenheimer, the reality. Just for one note, Einstein never actually met Oppenheimer. It's a dramatization, by the way. Again, he wrote letters, he knew about each other, but they did not met. In jungle, when there are more lions and limited. See, you think Mother Nature has algorithms. It does not. It does not. It's just a lump of rock, exactly like Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. And yes, I know Jupiter, Saturn are gas giant, but that's the whole point. It's just a lump of rock, which at this point in time has a biosphere on it. And again, over time, it will be eroded, either by us or by something else, but it will happen. And only us, we exist that can jump this celestial sphere. For example, jumping to the moon allows us to actually learn how to survive in space. Once we can jump into, let's say, Mars and low Earth orbit, like actually living in giant habitats, O'Neill's Cylinder basically, once we have that, then we become immune from oops of Earth. And again, Earth has more than enough oops event where almost life went poof. And again, Earth will keep doing it until life goes poof. And again, at some point, sun will go poof, life will be poofed. So nature is there, it's a very tiny thinking you have. Like you do not think even on a planet scale. And again, what if, humanity goes poof and then supermassive volcano happens, then what? And again, what if this time nature is like extra cruel? It's like, okay, let me go give you on it. And again, this time, not that tiny percentage of lifespan survived, that does not survive, then what? Oh, humanity went poof. The only species that could have actually went to the moon and actually had enough backups there to restart Earth, that would be gone. We are the only product of this Earth that can outlast Earth. We are the best and the worst in the same package. Basically, we are a coin. We have creation and destruction at the same time. So OnePlus is now offering lifetime warranty on Green Line issue. Yeah, I think their supplier must have messed up. Meta layer revenge, damn. So it was great. So that's like meta layer revenge. That's the whole point. So this is basically in last 3-4 days, so to say, how South Korea reacted did give me hope in humanity. It was one thing that I saw that was like, this is a good thing. The fact that soldiers did not went poof, the fact that people were not like, let's, it's very cold, because it was freaking cold, not Indian cold, like actual cold. Again, we know hot, they know cold. So the actual cold, they actually came out. And the fact that was like most ironically respectable thing I've seen a politician do is like he's live streaming running, because again, he wanted to make sure that like, if he gets executed, people, they have a proof that you poofed this. So I was like, damn. There was another aspect. It was like people are actually pushing him, because again, there was a tall wall. People were pushing him into the chamber. That was like, damn. This is how public should be. This is like they all came together to make sure the country survives. And I was like, damn. In 6 hours, the country came close to going boom, and everybody's like, no, we are not Russia. We will not go boom. They fought and they survived. I'll pay 10,000 as compensation for your 20 minutes if you do not find it. Chanakya Niti and presented on YouTube. I'm gonna ask Destiny. Hope you will watch it. I will pay it as a compensation for 20 minutes if you do not find it useful. Chanakya Niti by so on YouTube. I'm going to against Destiny. Hope you will watch it. Have you been to Mexico? Dude, I have never left the country. That's one thing I do want to complete. Even if Nepal, I just have to go to Nepal, but I have to do that. Like too many of my relatives have went abroad. It's like I do not want to die like that. It's like no, I will not die like this. I have to go to Thailand. When will come the market in current geographic circumstances? What are the chances of WWE3 situation as news channels are overhyped? Yeah, the likelihood, again, I hope, I wish, and all the analysis I have is like, yeah, likelihood is very low. And again, we had so many scenarios like, Israel going boom, 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 Myanmar going boom, 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 oh, Syria going boom, 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 and Ukraine and Russia going boom, boom, boom. It's like, it's boring now. It's like, yeah, 5-6 wars are going on at this point in time. It's boring. So likelihood is very low. Chill bros was able to create ice ages. We are nothing. We are everything and nothing at the same time. And again, we are destroying the planet. That's something. So that's there. Don't buy OnePlus. OnePlus is a scam company. After 3 years, they will not change display. They'll give you offer discount. Again, who is buying OnePlus? Even my brother used to buy a lot of OnePlus, but he has abandoned that train. Be careful when you are in Mexico. If you know, you know. Bro, why you are literally targeting Mexico, man? What did Mexico did to you, man? What do you say? Go to Frankfurt. Some flights are only 20 Mumbai to Frankfurt. Dude, I have a relative there, Germany. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like I have a blood relative there. So that's there. Although, how many of you are from Delhi? I'm curious. There may be some plans about that. So I want to know how many of you are from Delhi. If anybody of you are from Delhi, again, if you are watching this stream after the stream has ended, please do comment, are you from Delhi or not? I do want to collect some data that could be useful in some scenarios. So that's there. Frankfurt. I might go there. And again, I'm pretty sure my relative actually lives in Frankfurt. Oh man, me. Yeah, that's there. That's there. Because I have been to Mexico. Did you get some hard thing get into some places? I'm in NCR, okay. So I went like, no, okay. See, I'm not married. I can do whatever I want. In this regard, I can go YOLO on it. And again, Germany has legalized it, so I can go YOLO. I don't have money, man. Man needs money. Please, I wanted to meet you. No, I'm not. I'm not that interesting in personal life. So trust me, it's like it will be very boring if you actually met me. So, okay. Anyway, this is 1 hour mark has achieved. It was an interesting live stream. Although I came from genuinely shocking how good my Hindi stream went. It was like damn. I crossed like generally in a good day is like 100 concurrent stream, and I went so hard it went 250, 250. I was like damn. Like at least see, I eat infusion version of tacos. I don't eat the quote unquote authentic tacos. And again, most of the countries are non-veg, and I am a vegetarian, so it's not a very desirable thing. What's best smartphone you recommend are 20,000? I do not know, man. Like mobile is not one of those things. Mobile is not my thing. Anyway, I will see you guys next Saturday, hopefully, and bye.